Hello and welcome to another weekly update. A couple of interesting things to tell you about this week. First of which is a blog post done by Gary Pretty, who is a fellow MVP. We did some stuff last year, Future Decoded together, he's done this blog post about the next version of the bot framework. So I've spoken before about the current version of the bot framework, and it's in Azure, and Microsoft are now looking ahead to the next version of the bot framework. It's going to be called version 4. I still find this amazing. Even I know I keep banging on about it, but it is genuinely quite incredible. So Microsoft are working on this next version of the SDK on version 4. They are open sourced. It is already open sourced, and it remains open sourced whilst they're working on it. So it's under active development, but it's under active development in GitHub. That's crazy. Like, Microsoft are doing that. So it's incredibly open. It's brilliant. It's a really new and interesting way that Microsoft are choosing to interact with the community and with developers, and it's brilliant. I think it's really good. So Gary goes through in this blog post, some things that are coming, some new things, some new capabilities, and some new interactions and stuff. And there's a current roadmap as well. I mean, it's fairly early because the stuff is still being developed. But the team there, they have a wiki that's open, and Gary's he's great as an MVP. He's got some good relationships with the guys in the team there as well. It's a really good blog post from him. So definitely go and check that out if you want to know what's happening with the bot framework and what's coming up. All right, so some training. So Cosmos DB is the kind of massive Azure-based sort of big database idea. Funnily, in a way, actually making things possible that really weren't possible even a few years ago, about having a database that you could run, essentially treat as one big database, but access anywhere in the world within kind of milliseconds, and not worry about corruption, not worry about replication problems. I'm massively oversimplifying it. This is not my area of expertise either, and actually I will be going on these training series. So there's a whole set of training that is happening around Cosmos DB. It's done as a series of, I think 7 it is, webcasts, and all the dates and times are all listed out. I'm hoping they'll be recorded as well in case I can't make some. But there's a registration page you need to fill out to get the links for them. But that's going to be interesting because it's important to keep up with the stuff you can do today. So you couldn't, there's things that you can do today with Cosmos DB that you just couldn't do a few years ago. And I know this because I was on a project that desperately needed something like Cosmos DB, and it didn't exist. And doing things across the world, especially when it comes to things like voice, where things need to happen. If 2 people step into the same meeting room, it's no good having 5-minute replication. Those 2 people need to talk to each other now, and so latency is really important. And this is going to be new for me as well. I'm vaguely aware of what Cosmos DB is, but I've never really done any kind of deep dive into it. So I'm going to find that interesting, and hopefully you might too. And then finally, the last thing I want to kind of point out and sort of point you towards is some PWA news. So PWAs I've talked about before. Progressive web app support is coming. Google, it looks like, are the furthest ahead, and they've put out some support in their latest browser for kind of developers and early adopters. So you can actually go and see what a PWA looks like in Google's operating system in Chrome OS. So there's a good write-up by Paul Thurrott. There's another good write-up on MS Power User. I'll link to that in the notes. And it's kind of this is your early warning that PWAs are coming. They're going to be, by all accounts, they're going to be big when they come. Hopefully that it really will be that kind of works anywhere support that developers have, and actually not just developers, but app developers and users have been asking for ages. So really exciting. It's definitely something worth watching, and if you're a developer of apps, then you definitely want to get on this PWA bandwagon. You definitely want to understand it, wrap your head around it, and be among the kind of the first vanguard of PWA developers. I think it's going to be beneficial to be in that space when it arrives. All right, so those are the three things I wanted to talk about this week. Have a great week in the week that's coming up, and I shall speak to you next time.